Now we're going to work on the support arms that will hold the binders to the actual shoulder armor of the Kshatriya. And for this, we will need these three parts. It's a bit tricky. Make sure that you keep this part like this in this position. Then you take this part, slide it in like so it's facing down. This part here has a little wedgie thing here that's very, very unique. The unique part, which is the lower end of the part, has to be like this, like that. Then of course you close it up to finish it up. This is a unique part, considering that it's supposed to support the weight of the binders, which is interesting. It's an interesting fact how this is distributed. It's supposed to hold on to this the binders pretty well. And I will point out something else in a minute. Let me just continue on with this. So we have this part here. I'll connect like that, but you want to put this one in and have the little hole facing towards you first before you close it up. Then you slide this in here and then slide this in here. There we go. I have a little leftover plastic there, so take a little 400 grit filing, make it a nice even, remove all those leftover, and then smooth it out with an 800. Leftover plastic. There we go. It'll disappear with the priming. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, with this, obviously it has a locking mechanism here, so it keeps the binders into place. I like that, that's fine. But if a master grade is made, these need to be reinforced a little stronger. Specifically this, because this peg will definitely hold a 144 scale, but the peg will probably be a little longer for a 1/100 scale master grade. And I think when they have to build it as an inner frame, I think the binder system has to be integrated into the frame itself to give it a much more solid strength support when the kit is built as a master grade. Just pretty much right now throwing some ideas in the air, and hopefully someone will, maybe Bandai will be listening to. Maybe they have the ideas, maybe they figured it out. Who knows? But this is my, my 2 cents and what I think they need to do if they may ever make a master grade Kshatriya. Now we're going to move on with the arms of the Kshatriya, which is pretty much a very bulky arm, to say the least. Again, on par with a master grade in size, but not master grade in parts. Very few parts here. We begin with this part, and then this little peg that has to be in this position. Remember this, alright? Then we take this part over here, close it up, like so. So it looks like this. And the reason why is you have to take, well, actually we won't get into that part, we'll get to this part here, where we put in the, what I think this happens to be the actual forearm. And you can't go wrong with the forearm because there's a guide here where you have to put these 2 parts on. Now in between, of course, I like to sand off some of the excess, parts that's been scarred out. So again, I use a little bit of a 400 grit off the sanding sticks, just so I can clean it up a bit. I'll do it on both sides. Some of them, even though I think these parts will not show up that much, but you want to make sure everything's nice and smooth. Then I'll finish it up with an 800 sanding stick. This will smooth it out even further. By the way, if anybody wants to know where I got these sanding sticks, I got them at a hobby store in a place called Anvil Hobbies, I think it's called. I don't know if anybody knows what it is. And this is actually from Stevenson's International, which is actually this. If I'm not mistaken, isn't Steven International the same company who does the distribution of trumpeter models? You know, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys don't mind. So now, with this peg in this position, you take this part and you stick this to the back, like so. And there's a cover. There she is. You put it like that. And put it in nice and tight. And there's a reason why. The other reason why I was talking about this part is this. Because this is part of the arm that... Actually, you know, I said it wrong. I thought this was the forearm. This is actually the bicep arm. The forearm happens to be these parts. But according, I have to follow the manual step by step. You want to take this. Then you want to take this part and slide it down like this. And we'll put this to the side for now. Going back to this. I don't know why this cuts into this in the flow of the build. But putting the arm in this position, you take this part. Be careful here. It has to line up properly so it can slide in like that. And then you slide this like that to close it up. Up, of course. And I got my hand spanked by you guys on YouTube. Take it easy, take it slow, of course. Review the manual. I forgot to put one of the polycaps in here. And that polycap is this guy, number J, or letter J, excuse me. I guess since I'm going to be using another polycap soon, let me get number E, letter E, excuse me, out. And have it ready for the next part. So we put this one here. I guess you can put it in like this. I think, yeah. And then close it up like so. Now, the yellow trim parts. This one goes over here, which of course properly connects to these sides here. And then this one goes here, but you got to make sure that the notch is on the side where this part is. I think that's how it is. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm reading. Then of course you take the black trim parts here, and this one I got a little confused, but I think you have to put this one over here. No, not over here. I forgot how I did this. Okay, that goes back. No. Oh, you know what? I kind of closed this by accident. I'm such an asshole. I was just testing these out. Okay, so this part here has to go like this. There we go. These two can be closed, but they have to slide into this, and you can't close them and slide them at the same time. I learned that the hard way. And you want to make sure that the come on. I think it's... this part has to be like this. And then you want to close it up like this. So it has the emblem like that, facing this way. Which you can barely see. I am missing another part. Yeah, here. Then you take this armor part. Slide it in. Which of course aligns up with the notch right there for this. Alright, so I got that done. So that's pretty cool, right? This finishes the arm, but not the shoulder. We need to finish that up. And I need 2 more parts to the side. And I might as well get the manipulator hand ready. Here's my next gripe on this part. I'm surprised that, considering the scale of this SD kit, I'm sorry, HG kit, the manipulators, and I might as well build it now so I can show you, the manipulators are very, very big. If that's the case, why couldn't Bandai make manipulators where the fingers move? Because these hands, actually, matter of fact, stay right there. Okay. Look at this. This is the manipulator hand of the Zaku 2 Char's Custom 2.0 Master Grade. And then these are these. You see the difference? Why couldn't Bandai commit to making these manipulators for this kit? It would have been perfect. I know that there's aftermarket manipulators for Master Grade kits. I even got my hands on one set which they were not up to par, but they would have been perfect for this kit. I don't know what Bandai was thinking at the time, but I guess that's their logic. So continuing on, we put this poly cap here, and then this one. I think you have to have this part like this. Yes. And then no. Yes. There we go. Close that up there. Oh. Hang on a second. I'm kind of screwed up here, but there we go. So we have that there, and then we close this up. So that's like this. Then we, oops. According to this part goes here. The vents go into the back. And then you finish it up by putting this part here. And this part here. So there's the arms of the Kshatriya. And so that you guys understand that I'm redesigning this kit, giving it a little bit of a detailed look. Here is the right arm with pla-plate. I thought this was kind of empty, so I put some plates here and here. Then around this, I put this the rod pla-plate around it. Give it, I bent it and put a little glue there. Then coming around here, I put a little pla-plate here around the armor there, like an extra umbilical. So a little strip here, strip there, and a strip up here, which I thought it was going to interfere, but I guess not. And then I put more here just so I can complete it. I'm going to wait until this dries up, and then I'm just going to sand it down on each part, sand this down so that it's conformed and looks good. So that's pretty much it. I hope the arms are done somewhat. I'm going to start putting the pla-plate on this, and then we're going to move on to the next part.